Hello, my name is Dev. He, they. Welcome to the Noctuary.
Hey there, I'm Zuki, he, him.
Oh, Patrick, he, him.
Hello, I'm Alex, they, them.
And hi there, I'm Nicole, she, her.
Wonderful.
Okay, right.
And welcome to the session 0 of our cult campaign. If you don't remember from last couple of episodes, we had built the world. Now, we are playing characters 80 years in the future from 1850 to 1820. Well, we're actually going to discuss that, but we'll just say in the future, and then we'll figure out what time period it is. So yeah, so let's get started. We'll talk about a little bit about cult. Hey guys, gather round. We're on this cold fire. I apologize. I mixed up the ice with wood, but it's still on fire. But come around. Now, you may ask, now, what is cult? What do you guys think cult is? Cult with a K, not with a C, because it's edgy.
Thanks.
No,
I
because
have
it's
heard of it.
Swedish.
Because it's Swedish.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Is it? I didn't realise it was a Swedish game. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
Swedish game. Yeah.
So-
It's come up with some
the
amazing systems. Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you not,
the-
were you not aware of the insane, I remember this, there was an insane satanic panic in Sweden that was based around cult. I'm actually really excited to play because I never played cult back in the day, and so getting a chance to experience it with a PBTA system is really exciting to me.
Yep. I mean, it's 30. I mean, hey, the 90s were 30 years ago.
So yeah, I knew of it. I never really played it back in the day, but it was
Mhm.
one of those cool systems that people talked about as being a bit weird and strange. But I never gave it a go back then. But I have played it once at a convention, and I know
Oh, cool.
some basics about it. But that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So the original cult, I have not played it, but I have seen some of the art. The problem, the art covered most of what was written, and most of what was written in Swedish, from what I remember.
So, I was mainly a World of Darkness girly at the time, but the 90s certainly were a time in graphic design for role-playing games.
For sure.
Absolutely. It is a time which I don't think we actually need to go into anymore, lest we drive ourselves insane.
We'll get to World of Darkness probably eventually. We're going for edgy. Might as well go with like some of the edgiest shit out there. But no, the version of Cult that we are playing today is called Cult 4th Edition, Cult Divinity Lost. I don't want to get into what the conceit for Cult Divinity Lost is. I highly suggest you buy the book. The art is great, and there's a little beginning part that when you flip through the pages, it's very evocative. But our players are going to build characters for our new setting. We have our setting, Swale Springs, and also the resort town, as I understand it, of Stella Maris.
That's to be decided. Yeah.
To be decided.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
We
You're
got
right.
a few things to decide before characters.
Yeah. Do we
You're
want to do a recap? Well, let's not do too much of a recap of the previous episodes and what Swell Springs is. We can probably just jump into things, right?
Our
Yeah.
audience can go back and
Yeah.
watch those episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So to make a long story short, we're just trying to figure out the time period of our game.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy with the 1930s. That was the impression that I got we were going to go with, but we could move a little bit around that. I think it's a very evocative time. Yeah.
I also agree. I just wanted to confirm the details.
Yeah.
So there is the 1930s and the 1920s. Are we starting after Prohibition ends, which was, I think, 1933, unless my history is wrong, then blame my American education system.
Yeah, that's we are the thing that we are worst at here in America is knowing our own history, honestly. But yes, it is 1933 according to the great oracles at Wikipedia.
I think I'd like to be within Prohibition, just because, again, there's lots of some of the ideas I got for my character do involve illegality to an extent. So being involved in that could be interesting.
Crime, being a little crime boy,
liquor type crime. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Although I guess we haven't established, is Swell Springs a U.S. territory? Is it part of an existing state?
I want to say that it is, because I want to say it is part of the American territories, because anything else, and I'm just I would not know. My knowledge would not extend as far. I could do research, but I feel like I would just fuck it up at that point.
Yeah.
I actually think that it'd be relatively easy to just say that it's like English and like American centric majority, but it doesn't necessarily need to be governed by America.
Yeah.
It's very, I would say it's self-governing, but
yeah, because the way I kind of saw it happening is the reason why we have a tourist trade is because we can sell alcohol. We're maybe got some affiliation with the government, but
basically
slightly outside it.
In the actual really real world, Prohibition was technically something that was brought to Puerto Rico, and it was functionally impossible, and it was. It was something that, I guess that's happening over on the mainland while sipping a fabulous fruity cocktail. So I think that we should kind of figure out how we want our island to have reacted to it. Like, what is the alcohol culture of Swell Springs and Stella Maris? Like, how does our island feel?
Honestly, I want it to be kind of, so in the past, Stella Maris has always been the very strict religious. I want it to be reversed this time. I kind of want Swale Springs to kind of be where the Swale camp, as it were, to be very pro-prohibition. Pardon.
That would be really fun. You get to have car chases between the towns and rum runners and all that good stuff.
Pro-prohibition people tended to be feminist and all that as well. So
I did not know that.
Part of the temperance movement tend to be quite religious, right? Temperance went along with strong religion, which is why I felt that Stella Maris would be a better fit for the more.
But I would say, given that Stella Maris is their main religion is a mutilated version of Catholicism, just like based off of like how the church reacted in real life, never really been much of a problem with alcohol in the Catholic Church. Perhaps a little too much leniency, in fact.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right, because it was the Protestant and the Puritanical, the Methodists and stuff that were super anti.
I'm learning so much, audience. I'm sure as much as you are as well.
However, I mean, I kind of still want my character to be from, because this is the other side of it, in that when we're discussing characters, my character is involved in some kind of cult or underground movement that's a bit like the kind of the elders and things like that. And it seems to me that Stella Maris was very anti like any of the strange things that were happening on the island, whereas Swale Springs wasn't. And that's why I thought he'd be from that side of the tracks but still be involved in that kind of underground, use of the strange waters and all that kind of stuff.
You make a good point, Zuki. I think that like the character concepts, that's definitely something that we should keep in mind when we're kind of molding this, because I think we don't want to be like, oh, we've got to be 100% historically accurate.
No.
Like, of course, I think we do have a certain level of responsibility to, at the very least, just keep it like kind of in line with what actually happened. But beyond that, like, this is fictional. This is a role playing game about like cults and stuff.
What? No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I actually thought it was about like business people for a minute, but then I realized, well, that's also a cult. So
the cult of Wall Street.
I am totally happy to go either way, and I think ultimately, Dev, you should decide what you want. Especially since I'm kind of imposing the idea that there is a cult.
Yes.
It's up to you to decide who, where that comes from and who sponsors that. Because I'm kind of a newbie. As far as I'm concerned, my character doesn't know anything of why the cult's even there. He's just a member of it and so forth.
That reminds me. That does remind me. In this game, in Cult, I apologize for interrupting, Suki. I just need to bring this up real quick. In this game of Cult, there are different archetypes of people. Call it. It ranges from sleeper to enlightened. But what are you enlightened to? Well, that is a mystery that we will eventually get into. But right now, the players have, from what I understand, 2 sleepers and 3 aware. Wait, no. 2 sleepers, 2 aware. Right, because there's not 5 people in this chat. There's only 4 plus
5,
myself.
Yeah, 5 people.
But one's the GM.
But one is me.
One is the deity of the others.
One's the demiurge.
But no, 2 of you are playing as sleepers, 2 of you are playing as aware. There are different kind of there is very little mechanical difference. One just has a bit more access to certain things called advantages. The other doesn't. And they're Dark Secret. And that's about it. We'll get into Dark Secret soon enough. But yeah, no. As for your character, as for the cult in town, the idea that there is a cult in town, I don't think is a secret. I would say that they don't call themselves a cult.
Oh, that would be a bit.
It would be a bit.
Strange. They're not out in the open. Yeah, I wouldn't think that.
It might be called something like the Heritage Society, or the Stellamarian Heritage Society, or something like that. I actually like that name.
It's the Historical Society. It's the museum people. They're all just
they're all
rotten to the core.
Knowledge is power, and power corrupts.
Yeah, I kind of see them being, at least outwardly, being a bit like an Oddfellow society or a Masonic type society.
Absolutely.
That's why I've joined. But then I find the other side of things, and I get too deep into it. But should we discuss our character ideas? Maybe that's the first thing to go with.
Yes, I think that might actually be a good route into more world building about the town. Because
So
perfect.
Go around. So character concept, and are they aware or sleeper? So we'll start with Zuki and then go down the line.
Okay, so Sonny Brightheart is my character. He is. I'll put him down as the mayor of one of the towns. He may or may not be the mayor. We'll see. But he runs a gambling club and casino and resort hotel called the Blind Barracuda. He's part of the Brightheart dynasty, which owned the hospital in Swale Springs. if you might remember from the previous episode, the Bright Hearts moved to Swale Springs to set up a clinic, and he's part of that kind of dynasty. The patriarch, Ray, is at the top of the family, things like that, and his sister's a movie actress. So they're quite a high-profile family. He is a bit of a mob boss. He's got like people following him around to help him, and kind of runs the drink and gambling on the island and things like that. He's a greedy guy. He likes money, but he's also recently, as I say, come into contact with this strange secret society of businessmen on the island, and then been found out about some of these strange things that are going on there, some of the occult rituals that they do, and actually seen this kind of thing performed, and now he's obsessed with finding out more and gaining more information about this society and who they really are. So that's quite a well-formed character. Sorry, I've already got. But
yeah, wow.
Apologies if no one else has, but yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Good times.
All right. Well, that's quite the thing to follow up from. A great character concept, Zuki. I really like that. Okay, so my character is going to be Vivian Otto. He is a member of the Lighthouse Keeper dynasty of the Otto family, who has been managing the oh-so-very spooky lighthouse out near Stella Maris, but he is still, I assume it's still affiliated with Swale Springs at this point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That kind of begs the question of whether or not it's registered with the U.S. Lighthouse Service, but that is way too pedantic right now. Anyway, okay.
Pedantic is part of our. That's the whole thing.
All right. So I can get into that after I've explained the character. Okay, so he manages the lighthouse along with his sister Willow. Neither of them are married or anything. They're just sort of two creepy siblings managing the lighthouse. Their brother is the one who married, had kids, and kind of lives a normal life.
He escaped.
Yes, exactly. What do you mean? They're lovely over in the creepy rickety lighthouse.
So Vivian is a he or a she?
He is a he.
Okay.
That was kind of I just liked having a name which could go either way.
There is nothing dearer to my heart than gender fuckery. So
yes, you get it. You get it. Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure our audience heard.
Yes,
my partner is a gender fuck. So
I mean, I've been with them, so
yeah. Hi, Alex. As we wave.
Hello.
Yes, I think this entire group enjoys a good amount of gender fuckery. So anyway, much like Zuki's character, Vivian has gotten very mixed up in the occult scene, but less willingly. He's sort of, and I'm gonna have to work with Deb to see how this actually works out, but he's sort of almost a conduit for the spirit world. And he's been receiving all these strange visions of people from his past and from the island's past and that sort of thing. It's been driving him kind of insane. So now he's very much on a quest to figure out what's going on with this island. What are the sort of cult secrets which lie at its heart? And maybe if he investigates enough and peers his way back into what began all of this, maybe he can help himself a little bit along the way and find out the truth of all this. So he is a professional occultist. That is his occupation within the game. So there's mine.
Do you advertise your services?
No, not in the slightest.
Okay, but professional occultist, but you're...
Well, I should say by professional occultist, I mean he does the sigils, all that. He owns an entire library of magical and occult books. But that doesn't.
I would say it's probably a very small library, especially given the island and its inhabitants.
I was actually thinking that it was the sort of thing which would pile up like over generations when you've got like a kind of isolated family who keep to themselves near the coast.
Yeah, it's. I would say it's more like folk kind of occultism, cults.
They don't really write books about that kind of stuff unless it's through a very
It's word to mouth to mouth. Wait,
I mean,
word of mouth.
What else are you going to do
Word
on this
of
island,
mouth.
right?
Well,
Write
yeah.
books about cults.
I mean, this is the era of things like the Golden Bough. So, like occultism is like super trendy in the 1920s and 30s.
True.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
those kind of books will be easy to obtain.
Yeah, this is the you've got like the Golden Dawn just ceased operating like a little while before this. You've got Aleister Crowley is still alive at this point, I do believe.
Bastard man.
Yeah, it's a very it's actually a great time to be an occultist. Not necessarily on this island, granted, but in like the broader world. It's
yes, you are. You know what? You are correct. I
and
apologize.
I'm not gonna like bullshit and say like, oh, yeah, this occult secret that we're researching. Oh, good thing I happen to have exactly the right book. I'm not saying like these are good books on occultism. I'm just saying that they are on those subjects.
It's not a valuable occult library.
No,
but it's an occult library.
I'm imagining like there is like in this town there is obviously like folk, like I say folk magic, but like magic, like stuff that people believe, kind of like you know what I'm talking about though.
Yeah.
Words are hard.
No, I totally get what you're saying, Dev. You're good. All right, well, let's I don't want to take up too much time with mine, so let's move on to Alex.
Hello. So yeah, my character name is so my character is from Stella Maris. They grew up in kind of like one of like the more fundamentalist, like hardcore, the water is bad, like Swell Springs is bad, sort of like households. And so since we didn't really have any like a lot of names, like last names from the Stella Maris side of things, I went with a name based on sailor's knots. So their name is going to be Paige Carrick.
Love
that.
Ooh, love that.
They grew up in a very fundamentalist family, but they are very much of the opinion that it's all kind of overblown. They're very scientifically minded, so they are going to be attending a university in Swale Springs, much to the chagrin of their family, and they're a PhD student, and their thesis is going to be trying to disprove the dark water conspiracy that's been permeated throughout the generations in Stella Maris. Essentially prove once and for all that it's just superstitious nonsense. And yeah, so like they grew up in a fundamentalist family, but they definitely didn't carry those beliefs or take those beliefs to heart, I guess.
Well, okay.
Very cool.
Very cool indeed.
All right, I think it's me then.
Yes,
it is.
So, I actually left things very nebulous until now. One of the things that I really enjoy as a role player is kind of snooching in at the end and seeing where I can ooze in to fill holes. So this means that do we want 2 sleepers, or would we rather have just 1 sleeper in Alex? Because I could go seeker with this concept. I kind of have a loose concept of someone who really wants magic to be true and real. Someone who, if she were on the island back when Sabine took off, would have gone with her, but never would have had the courage to go out on her own. So I would be interested in going, Dev, as a GM, do you have a preference between having a single sleeper or having 2 sleepers?
Honestly, no, not really. I don't. It's more so. It's y'all talked about it and I'm just here to listen right now. If you
Alright.
want to play,
Then I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead,
guess
Jeff.
I should have
sleeper?
mentioned that my character's a sleeper, huh?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
Alex.
yes. And my character is aware. I forgot to mention that, but I guess I should have. Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking initially when we were talking about both playing sleeper characters, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll do the grad student role. Because you described your character as a scientist. And I was like, okay, cool. So maybe I'm the grad student to the scientist and I want to find out about, the magic. I'm hoping that it's real and they're hoping that it's false. So maybe we can actually get a balanced study. But would it be interesting to you if I were your advisor?
Ooh.
Like a doctor at the college who's still going into the investigations with, I really want this to be real, and you're the one that gets to be okay, but we have to, this has to be provable, this has to be, something, and you're secretly hoping to prove that it's false. So we still get that interesting dynamic whilst not doubling up on the grad student energy.
Yeah, I will say so. Also, something that I should have mentioned. That yes, so like scientists, like so. I was thinking chemist because of water chemistry.
Nice.
If you can, which I mean, realistically, chemistry did kind of like come about through alchemy, right? Like the old school. So yeah, that could work.
Yeah. All right, that sounds rad.
Nice.
Are you trying
I can
to tell
go
us,
with
Alex,
like
you're an alchemist?
You didn't hear anything from me.
So maybe I go with like a geology professor.
Ooh, that works.
Or someone who's working with the water and land on
Land and sea.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap between those two fields. So yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, then I guess I'm going to switch my archetype to, I'm going to go aware instead of sleeper. And I think the scientist is probably the way to go.
Yeah. Oh, and also please just, also, if you are an aware archetype, I should have mentioned, please, let me know what archetype you're going with. That's my mistake.
There's only one sleeper archetype, but there's many
only one
aware.
sleeper. There are many aware.
Many aware archetypes. So the scientist would work for me. I could see the seeker going. Working with a geologist who's more about communication than the hard, that works. That doesn't work as well for this.
I think
the scientist is awfully edgy.
Can I just
Welcome to KULT.
Yeah, I know.
Can I just ask? I was planning to go for a custom archetype. Is that okay as well?
That is fine. I thought you would go for like the fixer or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can adjudicate it, but yeah, I wanted a particular set of advantages that kind of fitted the backstory.
I mean, if you want to pick, that's absolutely fine if you want to do that. I saw the careerist thinking if you're like a mayor, it's probably fine if you want to play a mayor.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going more away from the mayor a little bit. I don't mind being on the town council, but I am more of a bit of a sort of a crime boss type. Yeah,
I was going to say the mayors of Swale Springs don't tend to fare very well.
Yeah,
it's a mayor by any other name is just as dead.
I had this whole idea for your character. Now it's all ruined, Zuki. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. No, actually, I mean, I'm happy to be mayor. It's just I'm going to have a lot of hats on, right? I'm going to have like I think I'd like to go with it because my character would like all the power, and it's also more likely that he'd be invited into this society, whatever it is, if he's the mayor as well as just the boss of some club.
Yeah. He could be campaigning to be mayor.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe it's to repair your image. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
Maybe,
yes, you did.
Yeah, I mean that can work. I mean, I see my character. Well, I'm going to take the advantage of forked tongue, so I'm super manipulative. So yeah,
he's a politician.
Yeah, that's it.
So
okay.
yeah,
are we going to go straight into that?
I guess we could. Yeah, I mean that's a good segue into. I mean, talking about your advantages and disadvantages. We did talk. I think out of the I don't know. Did we? Were we recording when we were talking about dark secrets?
No.
No. Okay.
Nope.
So I'm happy for my dark secrets to be open to the table, and I think everyone else is sort of in agreement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should play open and edit to what's going to be the most interesting for you, our lovely listeners.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So our players have chosen what they have chosen. Their fates are not sealed yet, but there is one. Yes. Pick your archetypes, and then we'll start with your dark secrets. I believe each of you get one, even the sleeper. Although the way the sleeper works right now is like you don't know what your dark secret is, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's your secret. I think you would know what your secret is unless you're suppressing it.
Well, I mean, some of them are fairly obvious, because I was looking up what other people have chosen for dark secrets, and some of them's like, you had an affair. It's like, well, yeah, I think you'd be aware of that.
You'd be aware of that.
Well, I mean, depending on who you had the affair with, perhaps it was a god of memory who clouded your thoughts.
I had a
I thought kind of the whole.
Go ahead.
I thought the whole point of dark secrets is that you didn't know them, so I guess I got that wrong.
For the sleeper, the sleeper doesn't know them, but the aware, oh no, we're constantly haunted by our dark
you are
secrets.
Aware, so to speak, of your secret.
Yeah. Wow.
But I had an NPC who was, because you just reminded me of it. I had an NPC in a game called Viscous Canaries. A scenario I made about a rock star in the 70s, or a punk star in the 70s. And one of the things was that he got super fucking out of it. And basically, when the players found him, he kept raving on and on about how he tongue fucked a god. And it got real weird after that.
No
Suffice
kidding.
to say, things got weird after that.
After that, things got weird. That bodes well for this.
I believe this to be our calibrating incident for level of weirdness for this game. So everyone, go ahead and set your marker at 0.
This is like the base of what we can expect.
Well, it's better than what. No, you know what? That game, that particular game is not suitable for YouTube audience. So I will shush.
Okay.
But yes, no. Trying to think. Yes. So we'll go down the line. Zuki.
Okay.
What is your dark secret?
So I think one of them is going to be a cult experience. So basically, he was educated in the USA and then returned and then set up the club a few years ago and set up everything else. But once he was initiated into, I actually did have a name for them, which was the Illuminated Drinkers of Purity, which is kind of. Whether we want to keep that, I don't know. But for Stella Maris, he was brought into this organization, and then kind of in this horrific way exposed to some kind of horrible experience, whether that was the summoning of something, a terrible sacrifice, but definite evidence of disturbing entities which these people have under their control. And in a way, it was a way to control him, in that, look at how powerful we are, look at the real world, look at what's really going on behind the curtain, and now you're going to do what we say. But instead, it's going to feed into his obsession with actually mastering this kind of stuff for themselves. Or I think part of it is because I want my character to not just be a bad guy. He's going to want to basically create, to kind of oppose the cult and find out their secrets and bring them down, or at least reduce their power, because he's quite frightened of them and he doesn't like things that he's frightened of. So the occult experience is where that's all come from. I was going to have family secret as well, but we can discuss that, whether that seems appropriate. That the Brightheart family and a lot of the Steramarian families have some kind of dark past that they have to kind of deal with. But
yeah,
I think just the occult experience later. Yeah,
I also agree with that particular statement. All right, who is next? It's Patrick.
All right. So we can have more than one dark secret, correct?
It's on your character sheet, I believe, or
I think it usually says one or more dark secrets, which is why I was thinking of two.
It's very big.
Yes. It's much like Zuki, I am one which I'm entirely sure of, and I want to check that. Maybe not. So the first one is visitations. So my character receives visits from spirits from the beyond and other types of things, which of course you can choose what those actually are, but they seem to him to be the spirits of the dead and that sort of thing. And then the second one I was thinking of doing was Guardian. Specifically Guardian of the Lighthouse, and I was going to have it be sort of a family thing, but they don't know quite why they're doing it, but they feel like they have to, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, there's the obvious answer of, someone's got to keep the lamp working and stuff for ships, but you're talking about more of like another more hidden reason.
I was the reason why I left it that open and vague is that I'm basically giving you free reign to just say whatever. It could be either, is what I'm saying. It could be either this is just a family who really likes their lighthouse, or there could be something more to it.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the same with my family secret, that just do with it what you will, and I don't necessarily need to know what it is, except maybe vague hints at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next is Alex.
Yes. So I was thinking for mine, I would say like an event that they are not necessarily aware of now, but I'm going to say as a child, maybe like, because they would like to play kind of like go exploring, play in the woods, play in the forest a bit, if they could get away from their family long enough to run rampant. I'm going to say that when they were a child, they encountered somebody from what was formerly known as Sabine's commune, whatever they are now. I'm not entirely sure, and they were effectively like, they assumed it was just play, but they were effectively baptized in the dark water.
Whoa. Not the direction I thought that was gonna go.
That's like some Arthur Machen kind of stuff. Oh my god.
Good times.
Now that works. Yeah.
I love how we all had these like extreme reactions, and then Zuki's like, "Yeah, that works."
I mean, for my character, like whether or not they remember entirely, they probably just have vague memories of swimming in a nice lake with a friend.
I do absolutely love the idea that this like uber rationalist chemists got baptized in the freaky black water when they were a kid.
I am
So were your
here
family
for
sort of a bit
this.
extreme in terms of their beliefs then to actually do that? Like, were they
Oh, I
part
don't
of...
think that was their family.
Oh no, that was not their family. That was
Okay.
their nice friend from the lovely witch cult.
Oh, okay.
All right. Nicole, last but certainly not least.
Yeah. So I think my dark secret is going to be having returned from the other side. And I think that my as of yet unnamed character, but I'm playing around with the idea of Persephone.
Pretty name.
Was
very nice.
One of those kids that was constantly in the water, constantly swimming, constantly like doing free diving, things like that. And I think that when she was a teenager, before she went off to college, she and a group of her friends decided to explore the sea caves. And she's the only one who came out.
Oh, no.
Oh.
You were missing for a few months or something, or weeks?
No, I think that it was probably a couple of days, unless you ask her, at which point it was years, months, who knows. I think that she does not talk about it. And I think that what she remembers often returns to her in fragmented nightmares.
I love that.
And that maybe the project that she is undertaking with her grad student is to map
Get close.
is to map the caves from the spring all the way back out to the sea.
You crafty little bastards. This is lovely. This is all good. You're all gonna die horribly. I promise you that.
Oh, it's amazing.
Thank you.
And like, I have been doing research on diving in what diving was like in the 1900s, the 1930s.
Oh, God, that's gonna be horrifying.
Oh, it's horrifying. But scuba actually did exist. 1912. Standard diving dress using an oxygen rebreather and no surface supply. So now that she's going to get to go back with the backing of a university, she's going to have equipment, lights, and all kinds of stuff to fail horribly.
I feel like each of these could be their own little, just like one-off stories. They could
also all kind of flow together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling that because I think with the Dark Water and also especially with the Lighthouse, Vivian, I think him and Sunny could be collaborating a little bit because they both are interested in finding the truth.
Yeah.
And
I
could well have with a few of the characters I could well have confided in them.
So go ahead, Patrick.
We could we could almost be like a group of collaborators, like people who.
So I was about to suggest, and I will stop if you'd like me to, Dev. But
go ahead.
What if this is an expedition that is being financed by Zuki's character in collaboration with the university to do this mapping project, and Patrick comes in because the lighthouse keepers know the tides and the flows.
It's part of the property.
Yeah.
I think are the sea caves? I thought the sea caves were on the other side of the island.
I was thinking more that it could just be that the lighthouse keepers also just know the coast extremely well. They know about the sea. They've got logbooks of it going like 100 years back.
Yeah.
Oh, you are right. Even with a fictional map, my sense of direction is terrible.
So
you are correct.
I think that would be a really interesting way to put the group together. But if you have something in specific mind, please, you are the head cat herder.
Literally, you have just created the outline of the first arc now. Congrats.
Fabulous. Glad to help.
Wonderful. Oh, yes.
Unless there are other ideas that people want to throw out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds good. I think from my point of view as well, I'd like your input. Although I've outlined that there is a cult and that I'm a member of it, I don't know what they're capable of. I don't know what my occult experience was. So feel free to kind of fill in the blanks with whatever stuff you want as well. So I want to make sure that everyone's...
I think that will fit in perfectly with what has been suggested here. Because we're going to talk about theme. After you make your characters, we're going to talk a little bit about themes. What kind of things we want to explore with this game. So I think keeping that in mind while you're making your characters, thinking about what themes we're going to have is good. So next up, after we do, and everyone's done, right? We've talked about our dark. We've done the dark secret bit.
Yep. For sure.
Next up is to select. I think for sleepers, they only get disadvantages, right?
Yeah, 2 disadvantages. No advantages.
Okay. So you get to select 2 of those. And the way we're doing disadvantages, I just want to let y'all know, at least for people at home who can't see, from my point of view, I'm obviously going to have them roll their disadvantages, but I am going to keep their... I am going to keep up with that side of things while they keep up with their advantages. If that makes sense to you and the audience. Just, and I can clarify if I need to. I think I sounded very vague.
I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. Yes, that makes sense. I was just,
just that, because keep in mind that's 5 things that you have to keep track of, right? If I'm able to help y'all out, yours is easy. you only have disadvantages to worry about.
So So do we want to talk about disadvantages? Or?
Zuki, what disadvantages are you thinking about taking? And keep in mind that things can change. Audience things that can change after play. So. If they do change, if they want to change their disadvantages or advantages, that's fine. They'll be brought up if they need to be. But other than that, please.
So I'm going for greedy, unquenchable desire for money and wealth, which I have to make a roll to avoid. If there's a chance of getting money out of something, I have to roll to avoid just doing it. Which is
brilliant.
Great for Sonny. And also obsession. So his obsession is going to be finding out more about the cult. So again, he has no sense of self-preservation if it involves finding out about these strange occult goings on and getting more information and possibly power there as well. Yeah,
I do love that. All right, next is Patrick.
Me, yes. Okay. Well, I'm sort of conflicted with so many of these because these are all so. I hate to say this, I'm like, these will spell doom for my character in all likelihood, but they're so interesting, all of them, especially the ones for occultists.
Yeah, some of them are real creepy.
Yeah.
I looked at the cultist,
So I was thinking, so for the first one, I'm conflicted between 2 of them, which I think are kind of mutually exclusive, and those would be haunted or involuntary medium.
That second one looks so good. I love
involuntary medium. I love involuntary medium too. Yeah.
I was I hope he picks involuntary medium.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to have this be a pretty normal person. So not a person who gets obsessions and stuff, but their mere presence in the party is a disadvantage in of itself because of the involuntary medium shit. And then the second one, That's a bit trickier. I don't actually know which one to do for that.
It could be one. It could be like if you don't like any of the ones on the occultist list, it could be just a random one that we can talk about later.
Yeah, it even says on the sheet that these are just suggestions. You can choose any.
That is true.
Yeah, I might choose any. I'm gonna go with repressed memories. Nah, wait, everyone else is doing repressed memories in some way or another.
I was
I'm
about to be
fine.
like,
I
well,
remember
shit,
everything.
I already said
Yeah.
I had repressed memories, but I
Yes,
don't
and
want to deny Patrick the joy of repressed memories.
No.
Repression.
Let's see.
Instead of depression, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
Is that the episode title?
Depression, that's a bad one?
Depression. Ooh,
that's
depression.
a pretty good episode title.
Ooh, depression. That's a bad one. Well, maybe it could also be something related to like their family or like a personality quirk.
I'll go look.
I am looking as well.
Yeah, I'm also looking because I think I'd kind of like to get this done right now. I don't want to hold everyone up, but I'd also like to.
Let's do it.
I've got a good one.
I have
a good one.
Fillable character sheet if people
one.
want it. I'm gonna throw it in the
great
on the resources.
All right, I trust Dev will give me one which is very lovely and will not harm me in any way, shape, or form. What is it, Dev?
I have a couple actually, so this might actually be less helpful than I thought. But
no, it's all right as long as you have options.
Jealousy. You want someone else's life for yourself?
Oh.
That's
or lost identity. You have a repressed true identity that resurfaces sometime. So it's not like...
I feel like there's some really meaty stuff in jealousy.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, jealous
like, I'm jealous all the time, but...
Jealous of what, though? Normalcy?
I think...
Or whom?
I think
you
could... I have this idea.
All right.
I think and this is something you can totally throw out. You're jealous of the people who can't see the ghosts.
Yeah.
You're jealous of normalcy.
Okay, but I love that. I'd say I do, but that sort of conflicts with the goal of being an occultist, which is to gain the knowledge of what these things are. Although I guess it's sort of a self-feeding loop, because he only would care about obtaining that knowledge if he saw the ghosts in the first place.
Yeah, and control is very different than make go away.
Yeah.
So he's envious of the people who don't have to constantly be trying to control it while still seeking an easier way to control it.
Yeah, he's very, very envious of people. In fact, maybe he'd even want the sleeper of our group to stay that way, even just so that. Although that starts as jealousy, but that almost loops back around to altruism, in a weird sense. Because
it's not really altruistic, because altruism is about wanting to help other people achieve what they want to achieve instead
for the sake of helping.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, I get it. I guess it just seems to me like the outcome there is very good, but I guess it's only really good if you know what the cult universe is actually like.
I would disagree, though.
I would entirely agree with myself right now.
You are jealous of people not needing to control themselves, which in turn makes you delve deeper, like Nicole was saying, delve deeper into the occult knowledge, which then makes you kind of jealous of other people again, and then it's just a feedbacking loop of negative bullshit.
So I guess what you're saying is that this is just like an ultimate form of self-loathing is what it is.
Abso-fucking-lutely. and I wish that was a disadvantage, self-loathing. That would be a good one.
We can make up disadvantages, can't we?
I believe you can, yeah.
Shoot, but I don't want to have to make a new. I don't want to have to make a new one.
Let's settle into the game before we house rule it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? We haven't even played a single session of this yet.
Exactly.
So, I am entirely willing to go with jealousy, but maybe we can almost put like a bit of
an asterisk.
An asterisk. Exactly what I was gonna say. Yes. Just put a little asterisk
I
next to it.
you.
No. I meant like you. That was very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Or the other one could be victim of passion. You have an overwhelming passion for someone or something. In this case, being occultism.
I do like that. Actually, you know what? I really like victim of passion a lot better because I think
that's fair enough.
I'm sorry. This might sound weird.
No.
I don't like playing mean people. I don't like doing it.
That is not my power fantasy.
I love playing.
I'm glad you do.
Our GM.
It's not.
Ladies
it's not
and
that
gentlemen and ladies, this is our GM.
I don't always like.
I love playing a hater.
I don't. It's not that I like playing normal people. It's more like I like to be nice. So.
And that's perfectly valid, you know?
Yeah.
That's all right.
All right, so victim of passion, we'll figure out how that works later. I've wasted so much time. Let's go on to Alex.
It is all right.
It is all right. So, the most obvious one for my character is rationalist. So you refuse to believe in anything not confirmed as fact by modern science, even when it is right in front of you.
You are the Scully of this group. More than the actual scientists that we have in our midst.
It's just because I've seen some shit.
Yep.
Oh my god, you are Mulder and Scully. Jesus.
That's perfect.
It's perfect.
Oh, that's so amazing.
You're both smart. Just one of you is just in the know.
And for the second one, so considering their dark secret, I was thinking either marked or cursed, depending on what the GM would like to do with that.
Oh, just put in marked/cursed, and then Dev can go back whenever they figure it out and delete as necessary.
Oh no, it's okay. I think if it's a baptism, I've always, and this might be just because I'm a little fucked up. I've always seen baptisms as like, this sounds wrong, but it's like it is basically like you are being reborn under this light, right? Or not? Yeah, I say quote unquote wrong, but you have been marked by a higher power.
Yeah, you're being in some ways you're being sacrificed to a higher power.
Well,
it's not killing you, but it is saying, we, the parents and owners of this child, dedicate this child to you, our deity of choice.
Exactly, yeah. And note that this is just for game. Obviously, don't think too much into it. You're fine.
As an actual Catholic, Dev is describing baptisms extremely well, actually. I just want to know.
But I think you are marked, my dear friend.
That's what I was originally going with, but I was like, it depends on how the GM wants to, how you want to play with it. But yeah,
I feel so bad for Alex's character specifically. The rest of you, I feel bad for all. Well, I don't feel as bad, but I do feel bad for Alex's character specifically because they are just a little sleeper. They're a sleepy little lad. They're a sleepy little lad.
Nappy.
They gotta take a long ass nap in the ground.
Oh.
Or in the water.
Yeah. Gurgle.
Oh, my sides.
We're killing Patrick here.
Yeah, man.
That's just a
great
challenge.
start here.
Not really that hard.
Nicole, you can kill my character. Please don't kill me.
I would never.
You're talking to the wrong person there, buddy.
It takes away all of the fun that you can have. It's over too soon.
Oh, dear.
What are your disadvantages?
My disadvantages are definitely repressed memories.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then I am dithering between experiment gone wrong and having had, instead of it being her as a teenager, her taking out some grad students and not coming home with any of them a few years ago. So she's maybe on the ropes at the university and she wants to find out what the fuck happened and maybe find the missing students because she knows that time is wibbly wobbly. Or nightmares. Because she could still have had the, don't bring back the students, but it does not, it would just be different is whether or not she's on the ropes with the university or if she's in good standing. If it's nightmares, she's probably still in good standing, but then Dev and I get to do a bunch of creepy dream of unknown Kadath bullshit regularly, or if the experiment's gone wrong, she's a little more desperate. She is going to Zuki's character, knowing that he's shady, but going for the, needing the money to restore her reputation. The two equally interesting stories.
Yeah, I think Experiment Gone Wrong makes more sense since you're being funded by Zuki's character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd also say that Nightmares is pretty crippling as a disadvantage to a character. It's horrendous.
That's true.
It's not a nice one to have.
Though in your Dark Secret, you did specifically say something about nightmares.
I did, which is why I was like, maybe I should be doing nightmares and repressed memories.
I think they kind of
It depends on where we want
both of them.
Yeah, where we want to mechanically lean for the story.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with Experiment Gone Wrong. I think I've talked myself into Experiment Gone Wrong because it's just such a nice shell.
Yeah, it is. What's going on. I like it. Especially if maybe, what is it? If maybe you did go back to the caves again and the second time was even worse and everyone died. And this is the third attempt.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go 3. The second time can be excused. The third time is when, no, really, you should be stopped.
All right, yeah. Well, we can talk about that later. We're going to take a small little break. And when we come back, we'll talk about the advantages. All right, so advantages, the opposite of disadvantages. Things that the characters actually have going for them instead of some things that are against them. So, except for unfortunately Alex's character.
It's fine. I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
Nothing has ever gone wrong.
I'm here to protect you.
From ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't ask about the last expedition. I am here to protect you.
The last expedition went fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Totally
it was wonderful.
All right. Zuki, what 3 advantages have you taken?
So I'm thinking of going for Forked Tongue, which means that I can manipulate people in special, almost spookily charismatic leader type ways to get them to do what I want. So it's possibly a skill that's inherent, something to do with my family background, and it's kind of occult in its nature, but it's certainly something that people know me for. And as mayor, it's obviously that as a politician that comes in handy. The second one is boss, which means that I have a group of guys that do things for me, if you see what I mean. So I'm a crime boss. They're normally used for in the background it says that they're kind of used for violent means and things like that, but I'd say that they're just fixers and things like that, not necessarily all that violent. But
It's a crew. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a crew, and mostly they work in the casino. But obviously, with my obsession, I'll occasionally send them off to some horrible demise, following up on something to do with the cult. And finally, the final one is dabbler in the occult. So I've started amassing knowledge and trying to exploit information that I've stolen from the cult. And with dabbler in the occult, it can go horribly, horribly wrong, depending on how. Because I'm just basically doing rituals with no safety rails to try and find out what happens.
Delightful.
Yeah, something that is well known to increase the life expectancy of the practitioner doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Hey, I just like, this is the new frontier. Forget technology.
9 out of 10 physicians recommend.
All right. So I guess it's me now.
Yes. What are your 3 advantages?
My 3 advantages are: one is magical intuition, so that I can bridge gaps in intuition by somewhat supernormal means. Then I was also thinking of going for observant, so a bit more standard kind of almost D&D style, I can just see things really good. And then the final one, that's a bit harder actually. I say dabbler in the occult, but it's sort of, I kind of already got my bases covered with that, with the whole spirit medium thing, all that.
Well, there is another one called occultist, isn't there? I think.
No, there isn't. There's
occult studies. You're a student of the occult. Yeah,
that's it. Occult studies. That's my third.
It's a lot safer than being the dabbler, but
just a wee bit.
Well, I've got some other things to worry about. So yeah. So yeah, those are my 3: magical intuition, observant, and occult studies.
Wonderful.
Unless you've got some particularly pernicious, horrible thing that you want to tell me
about. No, not yet. Alex, it's your turn.
Yes, my advantages are that I am a very good sleeper.
I completely forgot.
Yes, your advantages are honk and shoo.
It just slipped my mind that I just.
Your 3 advantages are Z, Z, and Z.
Z, Z, and Z, where I'm from.
More like Z, 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 more like dead, dead, dead. All right.
Should I start making the backup character now, or?
Well, you may become aware very quickly. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. As usual, I have most of my stuff decided, but I have something I'm wibbling on. So, decided is scientist and expert. And then I am thinking about either enhanced awareness or implanted messages.
What the fuck? Okay. So, I didn't even hear the other one because all I heard was implanted messages. What was the other one?
So the other one is enhanced awareness, which is you can open yourself to visions and communicate with entities from other dimensions.
I see. And implanted messages, I assume, is what exactly?
Oh, shit. No, I'm wrong. Never mind. Implanted messages is not on me. I can apparently implant messages into other people. That is not my vibe.
Okay. I was about to say that seems more like a different. That seems like a different playbook entirely.
Yep. It is the scientist playbook, but definitely not the cert I'm playing. I was also thinking about genius, which gives me edges in life-threatening situations.
I mean,
So
makes sense. I never would have thought the scientist would pick the scientist move. Who would have thought it?
I mean, it does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm interested in with enhanced awareness because I do enjoy batting my eyelashes at my GM and saying, "Kill me, Daddy." But I also, it is something like historically, she apparently is good at getting out of situations that would threaten her life. So,
enhanced awareness and
I
genius, both sound.
genius.
I'm kind of looking at that enhanced awareness a little bit myself, actually.
Well, if you would like to have enhanced awareness because you are an occultist and that's your bag, then I will grab genius and see if I can be the only one to survive this particular arc.
Yeah, I'm this is going to kill me so bad. So I am taking one for you in this case. I like to think of it that way. So
All right.
I will
You're taking away the option.
I am replacing observant with enhanced awareness.
Awesome.
If this
Interesting.
gets me killed in game, I regret nothing.
Yes.
All right.
So that gives me scientist, expert, and genius. Check me out.
I love it. It's great.
Love that.
All of this will definitely help in whatever deep dark hole y'all find yourselves in.
I probably should have taken inventor so I could repair the scuba gear, but we won't talk about that.
You're a scientist, not an inventor, damn it.
Let's just say there was a reason why the last expedition went wrong.
We didn't have any scuba gear. We were free diving it.
All right, so guys, I know we were going to explore some flooded caves, but I kind of forgot the scuba gear. So
again,
see, I think it was too expensive. I think that she had to fund the expedition on her own because she is a female professor in the 1930s. So
it is unfortunate.
There's not a lot of funding for dem bitches.
So what I'm hearing is that you hired a bunch of people from the school swim team, told them to hold their breath for a long time, and yeah.
No, they were just grad students.
Oh, that's even worse.
All right. Moving on from the massacre.
I really hope it's called that in game. Massacre.
Did you hear about the massacre?
For fuck's sake, Sharon! I didn't kill anyone.
It's a fucking flower, as of course they're gonna say it was a massacre. All right, so we're gonna talk about themes real quick. We could talk about themes. What sort of themes are you guys wanting to explore this arc? And we can go in order, or someone can say the first thing that pops into their head.
I think going in order, so that way we can kind of get what each person is kind of wanting out of this game, and then fuse that together into a massive Voltron of awesomeness.
Absolutely.
Well, there's only 4 of you, and there are 5 Voltrons, so...
Well, you're here.
Yes.
So you are a person.
You literally form the head.
I am. Oh, no, but I want to be the torso. But, I guess I would be the head, I guess. Fair enough.
You can be the torso if you want. I'll form the head.
I just realized the head and the torso are one. Never mind.
Yeah. We don't really know. I have never watched Voltron.
It's Sentai, so obviously the main the leader is all the head and the torso.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes they are just the head. I don't know. It's just sorry, we're talking about something completely different. I apologize.
Okay.
Let me go first.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go first. So I've always been confused about themes, even though I am someone who writes a lot of, not necessarily writes a lot of scenarios, but just in general, just sometimes just writes. Theme. Oh gosh, themes are hard.
I think I would describe a theme as being kind of the framework within the things that you really want to explore in your story. So,
yes.
if you are, let's take Persephone, my character, as an example. You could say that her themes are persistence to a hubristic level, perhaps, and the search for unknown places. And so that then I can talk about those things in a bunch of different ways, but the overall themes are the kind of the foundation of the story that I'm trying to tell.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a theme that I want to explore in this game. Is it's not necessarily I think I've talked about it before, but the idea of delving too deep,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the dwarves of Moria kept digging and digging, and they found something that should have stayed buried.
Definitely.
And that's something I would love to explore. And I would like to say preface it as something physical, but also something psychological.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're in a very evocative era. So the idea of kind of the upbeat nature of the early 30s, in the fact that, well, especially in the area that we're in, it's very tropical, it's nice, but there's this underlayer of secrets and horror that are below it that our characters are only peripherally involved with mostly. But realizing what the true history of the island is and the true horrors that, because obviously during the previous campaign, the kind of the Quiet Year, there was lots of hints of what was going on underneath the surface, what the caves were about, why there were blind fish turning up, why, what does this black water actually do? But yeah, it's about that underlying level of corruption underneath this sunny and beautiful tropical kind of 30s sort of life, and the kind of how that's going to affect the rest of society, and kind of how that underbelly of sewerage, of vileness, is going to filter through to the very happy. I guess it's a bit of a Bioshock feel to it in that respect, where there's this happy 30s kind of vibe, but there's something very horrible going on underneath it. Yeah.
The terror underneath it all.
Yeah, maybe we could tell me if I'm distilling this right, Zuki, but something like the darkness beneath, the truth beneath.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think leaving it open to the idea of we don't know what actually is beneath. Maybe it's horror, or maybe the people on top of it are horror. Like, I like leaving ourselves that kind of design space.
Yeah. And I think also, in addition to that, Dev, I'd like you to come up with what is the occult thing that I witnessed, and so that I did see something. If you can feed into that, and also maybe define a bit more about the cult, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I could definitely.
So is it my turn now then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I was thinking that since we have been sort of playing into the sort of temporal aspect of this, like the fact that this takes place over a fairly large period of time, but also the fact that there are like particular families involved. I kind of like the idea of playing on like family dynamics and like relationships, that sort of thing, like how generations relate to one another, and how like people within the same family relate to each other, or how like past grievances between two different lines can come to haunt the current one. That kind of thing. I'm a big fan of like kind of family stories. So yeah, that I don't really have anything to contribute on like the more supernatural front and all of that. So yeah, that would be something I'd like to explore.
The generational horror, as it were.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, like, obviously I'm playing a character that's very scientifically minded. So what you were saying about the like exploring too far, I think for my character, like kind of like the theme of like what is the price you pay for knowledge, or what is the price you pay for understanding.
The monkey's paw.
The monkey's paw, as it were. And so like not like exploration gone wrong, like not necessarily as like you find yourself in something too deep, or not just that, but you find yourself in something too deep and you still make the decision to keep going. Like
the price of obsession. The price,
yes,
because we all of us actually have that in common. All of us have got this weird obsession with something, whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah. I do. I really like the idea of like people who are well, like you said, Zuki, very peripherally involved, and it's like just falling in way too deep into something that they can't understand.
Yeah.
But also like the idea of people thinking that maybe they think they can understand it, like they think, oh yeah, this is this safe thing which I can understand, and I can exert my control and influence over it and make it mine, and then Sorry,
and
Alex.
Oh, no worries. And just like the sense of like, if I just had that next piece of information, then it would all click together, and then I would be able to like, so never knowing when is the limit of, maybe there's a point where like, okay, at this point you would think that, like a rational person might say, okay, clearly I'm never going to understand this. I should just leave it alone. It's bad for me. But like, we're not exactly playing rational.
There is this thing about. I read a comment once on a Star Trek video about like how Vulcans, they're so rational it's almost irrational. And that's how I like to think of it. It's like that's also how I think of like Scully too. They use every scientific thing in their method, but even when it seems, you know what I mean? It's just it's rationalism to the point of being irrational.
Yeah.
And the theme of obsession is definitely something that I am personally going to enjoy. It also makes it a hell of a lot easier to get y'all to do things. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's more fun when people engage with the stuff, right? Like,
would it really be?
Also, wait, before we continue, last but not least, Nicole.
yes, of course.
Bravo. So I was staying kind of quiet when Alex was talking about themes because it came to me that in a lot of ways, my character is kind of on the other side
foil
of obsession, of like, so I went in ready to give up everything for knowledge, and instead everyone else gave up everything for knowledge.
Ooh.
So I think that tied into, it feels like we're kind of settling out into a very cool theme of what is the price of knowledge, and if you're willing to pay it, whose life are you willing to pay it with? And so for my character, she's rolling around in some survivor guilt. She's rolling around in like
regular guilt.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
she went and did something that she believed to be within her capabilities, and something horrific and supernatural happened. How much should she blame herself for that? You know, at what point do you say, well, these were grad students, yes, but they were also adults making informed choices. And how informed were those choices? Like, these are questions that I get to really delve into with Persephone, is what happens when you are the mentor and you fail everyone who is beneath you, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I think you're getting
charge
my vibe.
of.
Yeah, the people that I'm supposed to be supporting instead ended up supporting me. And how do I cope with that? And how do I advise other people in the situations? Like, clearly there's something wrong with my head because I'm fucking going back in. So there's my part of the obsession. I haven't quite decided what Persephone in the end is obsessed with, and I think that's going to be something that I have to find out and play.
Yeah, I think I'm in a similar situation, Nicole, because like I have a character who's very obsessed. I almost wonder if maybe my character could almost be like retreating into like this other world that he's unlocked. Like he hates it, but at the same time, it's got like such an allure to him. It's like I can
It's still better than the one he's got.
Yeah, but he's also got like he's got friends, he's got family, so he still has like these connections which tether into this world. Like how far is he willing to go? How much is he willing to lose in order to understand this?
How many tethers is he willing to break?
Yes, and is he maybe at the end of the day going to choose what tethers him to the real world over that? Like that might be what he does.
Yeah.
Or maybe he won't have a choice in the matter.
God, this is so great. This is all good. So good. God.
So yeah, with a nice, light, and bubbly concept of obsessions and what we're doing to fulfill them, we're ready for a cult game.
Yeah.
This definitely, I guess genres this would be filling is more, I feel like it's more sci-fi.
Oh no,
sci-fi
this feels
horror.
very Cthulhian to me.
Yeah.
Like the sea caves, the black water, like...
Yeah.
This actually felt much more like, occulty to me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because like these don't feel like scientific principles. These feel like very much so sort of, irrational, like the return of the repressed kind of thing. Like all these things which you refuse to look in the face have come back to haunt you, sometimes literally.
Yeah. Oh, Patrick, our characters are going to have epic arguments over the place of science and occultism. And then Alex is going to be on the side being like, well, one of them is right, and the other one doesn't exist. Why are we arguing?
What I do love is that, like, with my character, he's arguing from actual experience, but of course, Alex's character has no reason to believe him, so that's going to be really interesting.
No, it's all... You're all going to it's all going to be all right.
Totally fine.
Totally fine. But yeah, I also think you were saying Cthulhian. I think the fact that it's set in the 1930s, that's definitely a very Cthulhu time period. Since old HP is still alive.
I have this idea for how we could structure the game.
Cool. Important asterisk about H.P. Lovecraft, because I personally feel the need to bring it up whenever he's mentioned. He was racist even for his time.
He was a bastard man.
I beg to differ. He was, but that's not. We're not here to do that. Let's just say
we will have that argument off screen. Patrick, and it'll be awesome.
No, there's no argument to be had here. He was a horrible racist. But he wrote some good fiction. But that doesn't excuse it.
Yes.
At the same time, can I just say, I don't want us to do Cthulhu style anything. Don't any Cthulhu enters. This is its own thing.
We're not playing Call of Cthulhu. There's a whole other role playing game for that.
We're just saying, like, I guess more a feel than.
Yeah, there's actually a a term that is escaping me right now.
Lovecraftian?
No.
Human-centric. It's more reverse Lovecraft. Because it's more human-centric than anything.
Yeah.
It's Gnostic.
There's a game that I like called Unknown Armies, and we'll probably play a scenario of it eventually.
I love Unknown Armies.
A cult, I am honestly not even surprised at this point. A cult psychological horror.
Yes.
This is more mystical.
Yep.
And more, I wouldn't say cerebral because I'm not a cerebral person. Well, I take that back actually. I take that back. But no, I would say it's more. It's definitely more. I think cult games are more personal with like emotionally personal than actual like Call of Cthulhu. Oh,
chthonic is the word. Yes, chthonic was the word I was looking for.
There you go. Well, mystical personal horror. You say, give me all that. All of that. I want all of that.
Yep, same.
And the way I want to structure this game is kind of like through flashbacks. Like, we'll get into like the main thing, but like as you're kind of exploring these tunnels, maybe you're thinking about how you ended up here, and yeah, I kind of like the idea of being, obviously not all of it will be in flashback, right?
Oh yeah,
but like character moments, so that way it's not like, so that way I'm not having to think about like how am I gonna fit everything all, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Nothing is real until we speak it into existence.
Absolutely.
As a quick housekeeping thing, Quiet Year, theoretically, the game in and of itself is like, this is 1 year. And we kind of turned it into like a span, like
of time.
So do we want to or need to pin down how long our Quiet Year game actually encompassed, or do we just want to leave it nebulous?
I would say a nebulous 80-year history. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think much would change, except maybe how buildings are made, and obviously we now have a university.
Yep.
We have an actual hospital.
Yep.
We have electricity.
Yep. Very busy hospital.
Well, I wouldn't.
Well, it's the Bright Heart Medical Center, run by my own wonderful family.
Yeah.
How lovely.
Well, cars, I don't know. It's a pretty small island for cars. I would say maybe bikes or motorcycles.
Bikes.
I think Sunny definitely owns the car.
Probably, yeah. No, you know what? That's fair. Someone probably owns a car.
Yeah. It's not any use.
I think Persephone still uses horses and mules because they can get places cars, especially cars in the 1930s, can't get.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think can I maybe have it that the lighthouse hasn't gotten electricity yet, so they're still using like oil lamps and candles.
Yeah, that's perfectly that makes sense to me.
Even modern lighthouses retain a supply of oil and a backup oil lantern just in case.
Well, yeah, because when you build
used to, it's a little
Yes, well, I think is there anything else at all that we're missing?
So when you say structured by flashback, do you mean sort of like a non-linear thing where we actually start at the end, sort of, kind of, and then we like flashback?
No. I would say it's more linear than that.
Okay.
That would be kind of it's more build-up.
Okay.
Yeah, the ability to be like, you know, hey, this thing happened, and it reminded my character of a thing that happened a while ago, and then we can briefly explore that bit of characterization.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're starting on the expedition and then flashing back to what led up to it. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't think it's that defined yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just totally fine.
The existence of wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Yep.
I think you can really write yourself into a horrible corner if you do too much flashback stuff. But I'd like to have some real scenes with, us discovering stuff and talking to each other and stuff.
There'll be that. It'll be spaced out. I'm just saying, how, it's hard.
It's like how you're handling character backstories, or
kind of like how I'm handling character backstories.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
This seems like the sort of thing which will be much more obvious once we actually play a session.
Yeah.
Yes. Honestly, yes. I promise. Yeah. All right. Well, if that's it, I think this is going to be the shortest edit of my life. I will have music this time, actually.
Ooh, that's lovely.
I'm not sure about adding music throughout the episode, but at least having music at the beginning and end, I think is something I am capable of doing.
Sounds rad.
Sounds lovely.
All right, well, that's the end. We hope you come back to the Noctuary. My name is Dev, he, they. You can find me on Twitter at Devi the Warlock. Oh, wait, it's X now. Oh, fuck it.
It's Twitter.
It's Twitter. It will always be Twitter.
It'll always be Twitter. Not in my heart. More like my kidneys. Yeah. My spleen.
Something closer to maybe the liver, because that is where you kind of get rid of the toxins in your... Yeah.
Down in the cockles of your heart. Yes.
The cockles of my heart.
Yeah.
Damn it, that's the episode title now.
Stole it.
Thank you very much for listening. I'm Zuki, him, and you can find me on Blue Sky under ZukiZilla. Yeah, just to plug the other platform.
All right. Thank you for listening. My name is Patrick, he, him. You can find me nowhere unless you happen to be on Discord, especially on the Good Friends of Jackson Elias Discord server, where you can find me as some guy on the net.
And I have been Alex, they, them. You can also find me nowhere. I also hang around Discord. You can find me, I usually go by Alex on most places. Yeah, the Good Friends of Jackson Elias is a very common one I'm on, but yeah.
And thanks. I'm Nicole, she, her. You can find me on pretty much any social media except Twitter/X at 5 Goblins Pottery.
We do hope you guys enjoy the video. We do hope that you press the clown button that is the subscribe button. And when you close the Noctuary's book, we hope that it stays closed. Until next time, viewers. Like and subscribe. Bye.
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 Hello, my name is Dev, he, they, and welcome to the Noctuary.
Hello, I'm Zuki, he, him, role player, furry, vintage human being.
Hello, I'm Patrick, he, him. I'm young. I also roleplay. There we go.
Hi, I'm Pat. No, my God, I'm not Patrick. Wow.
There's two Patricks.
There's two Patricks. Jesus.
He's
okay.
All right, let's give Dev a clean take.
Apologies. I thought we were just saying our name and characters. I was like, oh crap,
Sorry.
what do I say?
I messed it up.
Oh no, that's okay.
We were going to do a bit more. Yeah, I thought we were going to do a bit more.
I'll pause it and then it'll be a blooper at the end.
Shall
And that way